Hello to everyone out there in Blount County and beyond. I hope that you are continuing to be safe and healthy and well, and I especially hope that you are having a very blessed holiday season celebrating the traditions of your faith. My name is Melinda, and I'm so happy to welcome you back to Story Time for Grown-Ups here at the Blount County Public Library in Maryville, Tennessee. Like the other reference librarians here, I receive a lot of questions throughout the year from you, our patrons, and like the other reference librarians, when I'm looking for answers, I always try to turn to the most reliable source for an answer. And maybe that's why I have such a warm place in my heart for a young girl who was born well over 100 years ago. At the age of 8, Virginia O'Hanlon was seeking the answer to a very important question. And on the advice of her father, she turned to what they both apparently considered a very reliable source. That was the New York City newspaper, the New York Sun. True to their reputation, the folks at the Sun considered her query very carefully, and seasoned editor Pharcellus Church sat down to write a very serious reply. And it appeared as an anonymous editorial in the Sun on September 21st, 1897. Because it involves a matter of great importance to both children and grown-ups alike, and especially during the holiday season, I would like to read that to you here. It begins. We take pleasure in answering at once and thus prominently the communication below, expressing at the same time our great gratification that its faithful author is numbered among the friends of the Sun. Dear Editor, I am 8 years old. Some of my little friends say there is no Santa Claus. Papa says if you see it in the Sun, it's so. Please tell me the truth. Is there a Santa Claus? Virginia O'Hanlon, 115 West 95th Street. And here is the reply. Virginia, your little friends are wrong. They have been affected by the skepticism of a skeptical age. They do not believe except they see. They think that nothing can be which is not comprehensible by their little minds. All minds, Virginia, whether they be men's or children's, are little. In this great universe of ours, man is a mere insect, an ant in his intellect, as compared with the boundless world about him, as measured by the intelligence capable of grasping the whole of truth and knowledge. Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus. He exists as certainly as love and generosity and devotion exist, and you know that they abound and give to your life its highest beauty and joy. Alas, how dreary would be the world if there were no Santa Claus. It would be as dreary as if there were no Virginias. There would be no childlike faith then, no poetry, no romance to make tolerable this existence. We should have no enjoyment except in sense and sight. The eternal light with which childhood fills the world would be extinguished. Not believe in Santa Claus? You might as well not believe in fairies. You might get your papa to hire men to watch in all the chimneys on Christmas Eve to catch Santa Claus coming down. But what would that prove? Nobody sees Santa Claus, but that is no sign that there is no Santa Claus. The most real things in the world are those that neither children nor men can see. Did you ever see fairies dancing on the lawn? Of course not, but that's no proof that they are not there. Nobody can conceive or imagine all of the wonders there are unseen and unseeable in the world. You tear apart a baby's rattle and see what makes the noise inside, but there's a veil covering the unseen world, which not the strongest man, nor the united strength of all the strongest men that ever lived could tear apart. Only faith, fancy, poetry, love, romance can push aside that curtain and view and picture the supernal beauty and glory beyond. Is it all real? Ah, Virginia, in this world there is nothing else real and abiding. No Santa Claus. Thank God he lives and lives forever. 1,000 years from now, Virginia, nay, 10 times 10,000 years from now, he will continue to make glad the heart of childhood. Well, there you have it, a reliable answer from a reliable source. It's enough to convince this season's reference librarian. If you see it in the sun, it must be so. Well, now that we've established that there is a good-hearted soul named Santa Claus who is out and about there in the world, it's time to get ready for his visit. And when I was a child, and I will admit a good many number of years after I was a child, my family always got ready for his visit by gathering around the Christmas tree on Christmas Eve and reading the poem The Night Before Christmas. Though the author of that work is in dispute, some sources say it was written by Clement Clarke Moore, and that he wrote the poem for his own family in the early 1820s. Ever since then, it has been a tradition among countless families for many years, and perhaps yours included. Please feel free to read along if you would like. The Night Before Christmas. 'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care in the hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled down for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave the luster of midday to objects below, when what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. With the little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be St. Nick. More rapid than eagles his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donder and Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away, dash away, dash away all. As dry leaves before the wild hurricane fly when they meet with an obstacle mount to the sky. So up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with the sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had slung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry, his cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard on his chin was as white as the snow. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk, and laying a finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim ere he drove out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night." Thank you so much for joining us for Storytime for Grown-Ups and for sharing a part of this special season with us. Whether you are a very small child or a very grown-up, may the spirit of the season make glad your heart. And from all the staff here at the Blount County Public Library, Happy holidays and happy Christmas to all, and to all a very, very, very good night.